Well, to talk more on June 12 Democracy Day, OSA Director joins me now to shed more insight on this development. Thank you very much for joining us at this point. Looking at Democracy Day, June 12th, 1993. It was a watershed in the annals of Nigeria's history. How did this day, June the 12th, set the tone for Nigeria's democracy?
Thank you. We can describe June 12 as a precursor of the present democratic experience we are having in Nigeria today. I remember the administration of the self-styled military president, General Ibrahim Babangida, when he assumed office in 1985 after a palace coup, where he toppled the present president, then Major General Buhari. He embarked on a convoluted transition program, which was aimed at perpetuating himself in power. And he started as a very benevolent dictator. They call him the general with the toothy smile. You know, he was charismatic. So a lot of people never understood his game plan until the media, especially what I would refer to as the independent media, as represented by Tell magazine and the News magazine, began to expose the political underbelly and subterranean moves and desire of Babangida to perpetuate himself in power. I knew that Tell wrote an article or did a cover story, The Booby Traps to the Transition Program, where all the editions of the magazines were confiscated by the junta of Babangida. That began the onslaught against the independent media organization. And it became obvious to Nigerians that he was planning to perpetuate himself in power because he kept shifting the dates of the transition, handover date. He initially said 1991, then 1992, and he shifted it twice in between. So the press decided to expose him for who he was, that he was a tyrant and he was not ready to hand over him. For instance, he demands Senator Aton Zeribe formed a notorious organization called Association for Better Nigeria, ABN, who went to court to stop the election from taking place. There was a court pronouncement that the election should not take place. But thank goodness for the commitment of the Nigerian media and the Nigerian people, the civil society movement, and then to a very large extent.
So you say Nigerian media also contributed in a positive light to ensuring that democracy is entrenched in Nigeria following the June 12 issue?
Undoubtedly. As a matter of fact, we will not be having this democratic experience we are having today without the input, the role and commitment of the Nigerian media. And I must emphatically say, especially the journalists or the media practitioners in Tell magazine and the News magazine that also have tempo. But you have some sprinkle of some other journalists. You know that the editorial position of an organization is determined by the owners.
Yeah.
I mean, when you begin talking about the political economy.
So, sticking with the issues now, Democracy Day now, 23 years unbroken democracy. Would you say that Nigeria's democracy is now mature?
I wish I could say so. Because some of us look back with a lot of regrets, or a lot of pains. I don't want to use the word regret. That's a bit strong. We look back with a lot of pains and begin to ask some fundamental questions. Was the sacrifice really worth it? And that is because of the way and nature and manner our democracies have turned out to be. I would rather say that Nigeria has been lucky to be experiencing what you call civilian rule for the past 23 years. It's not yet really a democratic nation, because when you talk of democracy, you have the indicators or the indices that used to measure democracy. They are not yet all right in the Nigerian society. But I'm hopeful And I'm excited and I'm committed to the fact that we are moving towards having a democratic society. To the extent that we have had 23 years of unbroken civilian rule, it's a thing of joy, a thing of excitement that we shall get there. So to that extent, I can agree with you that yes, Nigerian democracy has not matured, but it is maturing. And we hope that the tentacles of democracy are deepened by the practitioners and those who find themselves within the levels of power in the interest of the people and development of the Nigerian society.
All right, so what can we learn from the June 12th election, even as we prepare for the elections come 2023?
Yes, I think there are a lot of lessons to be learned. One of the greatest and the most unfortunate characteristics of the average Nigerian politician is that he never learned from history. But there are a lot of lessons to be learned. We must appreciate the fact that for now, there's no alternative or a better alternative to democracy. Not just democracy, democracy and the rule of law. And that is where we need to really deepen the taproot of democracy in Nigeria. We have not encapsulated or imbibed the virtues of the rule of law. The rule of law is, it has to be deepened. It's something that has been with us even from the 12th century, which was encapsulated in the Magna Carta of 1215, and even in the French Revolution of 1895, and the American Declaration of 1770. So if you practice democracy without the rule of law, then you are doing it halfway. Right. So Nigerians must learn that we must deepen the rule of law, which simply means the supremacy of law over arbitrariness. We are having what I can describe as a clear case of impunity in Nigeria today, where Nigeria is fast metamorphosing into a huge criminal enterprise, where criminals reign supreme, where criminals commit all that without let or hindrance and without being brought to book. So the lessons we must learn is that we must deepen the concept of the rule of law, where everybody is equal before the law, where everybody has a right to pursue his freedom, his liberties, his choice of profession or religion, without infringement in state.
All right, USA Director, thank you very much for enlightening us. Quite an interesting conversation there. Thank you so much for talking to us on Democracy Day.
Thank you very much.